it's great to see that Diamond Classics it's lasted for
forever.
As long as it has.
Forever.
I pitched in it. And a lot of great.
Johnny Schmaltz pitched in it.
And we've had
I played the
many
championship
guys.
game in '76
Bruce
against
Fields
Waverly.
played in it?
Yeah, we got beat by Waverly.
Yeah.
Bruce played. We beat Bruce, as a matter of fact, to get to the championship when we were juniors.
Right.
Near Waverly Warriors. Lenny Lapka's team beat us.
Yeah.
And that was '76, and then '77 we got knocked out. But it was a great tournament. Bob Gross did a great job.
Yep.
And I had arguments with Jack and Fred when I was at the other venue about, when they had that controversy about going to Oldsmobile Park, and those guys said Muni. And don't get me wrong, we all played at Muni, and I love Muni.
Oh, yeah.
But, man, if you're a young kid, you played
in the big league. It's like playing in a big league stadium for these kids, and
in all honesty, it's like the Lansing Community College butting up with the city to have a home ball field for their baseball and softball team, and they put the guys on the west side.
Right.
That's a place that could be developed. They wanted to put us out there. Said, no cotton picking way am I going out there. We're going out to the field, Randy Ballpark.
But I do want to make a point, though. Now that the Drayton McLean Field and Cobb's Field, they put the money in there.
Unbelievable.
See, the minute I walked in there with Wally Rudisell, Wally and I went there, and Wally, I said, they could move that venue here like that, and it'd be great.
It would be fantastic for MSU. But, you look at what's happened with MSU. How blessed are we to have Jake Sr. and Jake Jr.
out there.
And I really believe that in the very near future, you're going to see baseball at Michigan State University become a revenue sport again.
You know what? I wouldn't doubt that either, because I do believe that those two, and especially Junior, they'll get the player. There's going to be so many players from this area that maybe will come through here to get there or go there, or in Elma or in Mount Pleasant.
Of course,
right?
It's Michigan State University. It's one of the biggest universities in the country. Eddie Powers being receiving the job down here.
Right.
You played a lot of ball with Ed, and Ed's been around a long time. And this I always kind of felt, and we even actually tried to entice you to throw your hat in the ring as being a coach down here, but you kindly told us that just don't pay enough. Junior college ball doesn't pay a lot.
But look what Fred.
Well, I tell you, one thing about Bob is he don't hold back on the cheese.
Well, the thing is, too, is look what Mike Couples has turned into Grand Rapids Junior College. They've been a great program. Played against Mike in minor league ball, and he's just a great guy. But he's, he recruits, he does the things the right way, and he makes sure that, he's a mentor to these kids.
Well, our Dr. Knight was at Trident College, with the president of Trident College, when Kirby Puckett played on the baseball team.
Right.
So many good athletes come out of these junior college ranks. People don't understand.
It's unbelievable. When I was at Oral Roberts University, all of our players came from JUCOs in California, and came there, and we had Jim Brewer was our pitching coach, Larry Koshel, who was a Hall of Fame coach for many years, and Pat Harrison out of the Dodgers organization. How do you have better coaching than that in college?
You don't.
No, you don't.
You don't. Well, let's take you back to the time when you put your first ball glove on. How did you get started in the sport of baseball? And was that really the only sport that you took a liking to?
I did. To be quite honest with you, my family, with my grandfather, my uncle, and my dad, all playing professional baseball. It was drilled into my head as a youngster. I remember days when I had all three of them out there showing me how to pitch, showing me how to hit, which I wasn't ever a very good hitter, and you know that quite well. I played for you for how many years? But, pitching was a big thing, and doing it the right way was a big thing, especially for Maury. Maury was, I remember him taking me in the front yard and showing me the proper mechanics of throwing. Now, there's been huge changes from the 20s and 30s to the 2010 with mechanics, with size, with weight training, with the psychological aspects of pitching, with how the big league teams come in, and they coach these guys a whole lot different than they did back then.
Mike Marshall.
Mike Marshall, he worked at Oral Roberts with us many times, but huge in kinesiology and mechanics of pitching. And, I coached at Catholic Central for 5 years. I came in there with Jake, and I thought I knew everything about baseball. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was a student. Jake taught me a lot of things that, I didn't know. And, in pitching, Jim Brewer, who was my pitching coach and a very good friend, he was just, the best coach I could have ever asked for, because he taught me proper mechanics, and I've never had a bad arm.
Okay.
I've never had a bad arm.
Well, you started out what high school?
I was at Waverly High School, and I graduated in 1979. And I had a couple of colleges, including Michigan State, who was recruiting me. And Dave Allen was at Harry Hill.
Former boxer of mine.
Dave Allen could play.
Dave Allen was a former boxer of mine. His dad, Bill Allen, was a state champion.
Yeah, and Dave was a tough kid.
Oh, yeah,
he was outstanding baseball.
You talk about, and the thing is, my cousin, Shane Hoos.
Yeah.
Shane.
Knows very well.
And, these boxers and these hockey players today, I mean, they can play any sport.
Tough up here, boy. They're tough
mentally
up here.
tough. Mm-hmm. And all you ask for is that, in athletics. And I mean, I coached at the high school level. I've coached, some college kids, in private sessions and stuff. But the biggest thing for me right now is I'm coaching. Last year I coached a 10 and under team that hadn't won many games the year before, and I had the same kids. Fundamentals. I had Luke Wilcox as my hitting instructor, and Luke was in the big leagues with the Diamondbacks, and then the Yankees tried to buy him, and Piniella was after him, and for some reason that deal didn't work out. But these 10-year-old kids have me and Luke Wilcox coaching them. We ended up 24-3 and going to the state championship, and we beat Grand Ledge, Pat O'Keefe. Sorry, but we beat Grand Ledge 4 times.
Yeah, well,
and I was really proud of the kids and the progression, but it all came down to fundamentals. The proper way to field a ground ball, the proper way to stand in on the plate, the proper way to throw the ball. It's all the little things.
Yeah, I tell my kids, my softball players, there's 4 disciplines that will assure you winning more than losing. You got to catch the ball, you got to throw the ball, you got to hit the ball, and you got to pitch the ball. If you can do those 4 disciplines better than anybody else, which means if you work on them harder than anybody else, you probably will.
What is the segment from Bull Durham?
No, I'm going to tell you, and it's Tony Dungy's theory: do what you do.
Yeah. No, it's fundamentals.
Do what you do.
That we were just talking about Tom Izzo. I mean, I went through one of his regimented practices a year ago, and I'll tell you right now, that's exactly what he does. I mean, his fundamentals are the best. Eye the ball, the mitt, and just do the little things and you win.
The thing that you got to, the thing I think all coaches do, is number one are the fundamentals. Then it's the mental aspect of the game and preparing yourself to compete. And we're all very competitive.
You prepare to win or prepare to lose, one or the other.
You prepare to win, and there's no such thing as loss.
Yeah.
I mean, in my book, I don't like to lose.
If you don't prepare, you lose.
And with those FSB teams, remember back in the 70s?
Some talent
I'm
didn't hurt
17 years old, and I'm out there with, these guys are just out of the big leagues. These guys are just out of the big leagues, and you talk about a learning experience, but I mean, we played 60 games a season, and I mean, there were times when we were 58-2, and I mean.
Well, you and I, we go back. You were younger than I am, but to firefighters with Carl Wagner, and you were a young guy and joined the team with Perry Costello and Brent Gates, and it was like an all-star team, and we were outstanding, and because your family knew my family through, like you said, through Quick Car Wash and Maury and your dad and your uncle coming to the store.
Tony very well.
Tony see the play.
Yeah.
He's a family member.
He's big out here at that little diamond they created. He helps sell advertising and stuff, and he takes a real active role in that field being set up and good and everything like that. Well, listen, we're out of this time for this segment, so we're going to come right back. My guest is Shaye Ramont. Everybody, do not go away. Be right back.